Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nick Perro. This is the Sick of This show, and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host Tara Devlin today,
Hello,
Tara
hello.
Buster, and the Political Voices Network. And we're here to talk Epstein and accountability.
Mm,
So this is going to be a fun discussion today because yesterday we got some really interesting and fucking disgusting ass emails and implications to, I'll put in quotes, journalist Michael Wolff.
yeah.
Um, and there's a lot of news to cover. So first, Tara, can you introduce yourself, everyone, to everyone in the audience? I know most people probably know you
Well,
here.
maybe not.
You've been
No,
on the
no.
show a couple times.
Yes,
For
yes. They
those
know
who
me from the show. I just got a haircut. Thank a long awaited.
That's good. I like your haircut.
Yeah, I needed it. It was
Yeah,
getting a little.
I mean, I did one not too long ago too. I've got to trim the sides back down because I actually want to try and get the top to grow a
I
little bit.
see.
But I do it
Yeah,
all myself because I don't like one, I don't have money and I don't like paying for things
yeah.
that I don't
I
have
can't
to.
do that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
So
done that before when I was a kid, and it's always ended up bad.
yeah,
But anyway,
it doesn't end up
drop
well
something. Hold on. Sorry.
sometimes. It's a good thing I can shave my head, and
Right.
everyone's like, "Oh, you look good with a shaved head," and it doesn't look bad on you. So
Yes,
I
I
have that
wish.
male privilege,
Yes.
at least white. No, general
No,
male
no,
privilege. I
male,
think on this
men.
one,
Yeah,
of
I mean,
being able to
you're
shave your
bald,
head.
so yeah,
Actually, no. That
you're not
said,
bald though. You're not bald. I'm not saying that, but men who
I am
just they
definitely
just embrace
balding.
it.
The back is worse. Like
Uh,
I used to have hair, like a hairline, like straight across,
oh wow.
super thick hair.
What is that
Um,
like when you start losing it? Does it upset? I mean, I'm sure it's upsetting. I know it upset me.
it
Yeah.
is kind of upsetting
Mm,
because I used to have a beautiful like Jufro that I could grow out, and it was
mm.
luscious and full. And I at one point was able to pull it back into like a
Oh
tight,
wow.
just a tight bun or ponytail or top bun. I would do that when I quote.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I have beard privilege, though, so I can get
Yes.
really good facial
You
hair.
make it up
So
with the
so
beard.
that sort of makes up for
Yeah.
the balding. So I'm like, it's all right, give or
Well,
take. My hair
look.
migrated, and that's
Yeah. Well, you look fabulous in
well,
my eyes.
you do too, Tara.
Oh, thank
I
you.
like the
Yeah,
haircut.
yeah.
It looks great on you.
Okay, good. No, it actually anyway, well, we're not here to talk about haircuts, but I
But
just
are
wanted to
we?
tell
But
people
aren't we here to
because,
talk about people and accountability?
my hair was a mop, pretty much of a mop. It's that's only because I have no goddamn time to do anything, because we're in the midst of this fascist takeover, and there really isn't much time to do in my opinion, for me. I mean,
Yeah.
we all
There's
pick our lanes, but what I do requires a lot of time. So yeah,
yeah.
and I'm not
No.
complaining. I'm
No, I'm
just
not
saying,
complaining either.
yeah.
Um, we have a
So,
lot of things to do, very little time.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
but it's always fun to get some good laughs and smiles because
Right.
the one thing they
It's
will never take away from me is joy.
right. You're
And
right. You're
so I'm going
right.
to spread joy,
Well,
especially while
that's
we talk about what's going on today. So,
right.
Tara, I'm going to
Well,
let you take over and actually introduce yourself and
right.
give everyone who you are because, we banter back and forth and we could
I
just chat
know. We
for
could
the
just
whole
talk.
hour. Though I think
Well,
people would listen to that too.
I
So,
think they would.
the
Yes.
ramblings of Nick and Tara.
Well, a
Um,
lot of times, I mean, last time we spoke privately, I was like, we should have recorded this conversation, for the
Really,
show. It
we
was a
should.
good show, I thought.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you here then, while you're introducing yourself, is would you like to consider doing just a ramble show where we don't even really have a
Oh,
major
what?
topic and we just
Yeah,
ramble and
of
people
course.
hear
I
us
could ramble.
talk and have fun?
I will.
Um,
Absolutely. I mean, it is a
oh,
ramble. I
yeah.
mean, I do Tara Buster. That's kind of a no. I mean, we have topics, but it's that's why I call it Tara Buster because we can ramble. And
Yes.
but yeah, I mean, we're just having a conversation here, and we're all in this together, trying to make this world and well, let's start with the country safe for democracy. And
Yeah.
that's this is what's so disappointing. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so let me roll it back. It's not disappointing. I mean, I sometimes wonder. uh, if I'd just be happier getting the hell out of here and sitting and going and get my Irish citizenship. My grandparents came from Ireland, so I can get citizenship and flee, and then maybe I can watch this shit from a safe distance and be a lot less stressed. But and then as a Buddhist, I practice Buddhism with the Soka Gakkai, and that's the Nam Myoho Renge Kyo Buddhists, and we, I mean, when not complain, I hate that word complain. Maybe I'm in denial. Maybe I am complaining, but no, when I say I can't believe, the things that are going on in this country, and the Buddhist philosophy is you picked it. You picked your situation, your challenges, and what you're here to deal with. And okay, if I picked it, I guess I picked a very interesting time, and so as we said, more will be revealed, but more will be required, and that's how it's felt my entire life. You know, showing up and just answering the challenges that are put in front of us. Because when I don't know about you and people listening too, but when I was a kid, I learned about America. When you learn as a child, of course, you learn the very minimal aspects of a very childish uh, kind of history, the kind of history that Republican adults like to consume now. And then when I got a little older and I became politically aware and educated and listen and love of history and everything that the intellectual curiosity that may make me want to learn more about the world. And it's just outrageous to me that how we fall short of the promises of what America is supposed to be. And now we're not even just falling short, we're backpedaling. And I really hope that we can have some kind of impact making, reversing that course. Because one of the things that is defining this age, and when they look back, they're going to define it as the new gilded age of greed, grifters, and gaslighting. And it's also defined by a pathological selfishness that we have to overcome.
Mhm.
And one of the things when I posted something on Substack yesterday, and and I said something about we patriots have to something or other. And somebody said, "Don't call me a patriot. That word has been ruined by Republicans." And I said, "Well, we're taking that word back because we are the real patriots here. Because
Yeah.
we're the ones carrying the mantle of the revolutions. We're the ones who are really trying to bring the promises in our founding documents to fruition. The founders couldn't do it, of course, but they left us a pretty progressive blueprint, born and inspired by the liberal age of enlightenment to follow. These are people that we can't forget pledge their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor to each other. And I think we have to do the same, and we have to remind people of that too. So pledging
Pledge
our
their honor, lives, and fortunes.
yes, yeah,
Fortunes for
fortunes.
others. For others, they
Yes,
gave back to their community. It's
that's
almost like
right.
they tax the rich themselves, and we're like, "Hey, we're just going to
Exactly.
donate this nest egg instead of it just being for us. It's for
That's
all
right.
of us and
Yes.
we, the people."
Right.
Interesting.
Isn't
Almost
it?
like we have robber barons right now who could do the same fucking thing
Oh,
that call
yeah.
themselves Democrats and progressives,
Yep.
but aren't
No,
doing
no.
the
And
same
and
fucking thing.
that's why if, we got to take back patriotism. We have to redefine or reclaim the definition of the American dream for one thing, because
Yes.
they've changed that too. The Republicans have been very clever because they don't have anything else. They don't have anything in reality to boast about. So they have branding. They're very good at branding. They're very good at messaging and staying on that message. But they have redefined the American dream from, you too can have a decent middle class life to you could be a billionaire maybe, and maybe you too can screw over your fellow Americans too without giving a shit. So that's it. Oh,
Yeah.
entrepreneur, being a
Rugged
businessman.
individualism.
Oh, which is bullshit in itself. Like everything that Republicans, that they spread, all their bullshit from their policies to their talking points is bullshit. Rugged individualism is a fiction. There's no rugged individuals on Earth. Okay, there
No.
really aren't. No one has ever survived without other people. So if you're a rugged individual, go f off to Mars or something. F off to a desert island, and Epstein Island, right?
Yeah, go Epstein Island yourselves
Yeah,
onto wherever you want to be by yourselves and just go make your little billionaire
yeah,
colony where you can have your most dangerous games and
yeah.
hunt each other
Right,
and hunt each other instead.
right.
Like, y'all want that.
Leave
That's
us
what you want
alone.
anyways. So go have fun. Like, go do
Exactly.
your thing, billionaires. Just leave us the fuck out of
Right.
it.
Well, they
Like,
can't though. They can't.
no, they can't.
They want all the benefit. Well, this is the people who vote. This is, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, because the people who vote for these people, a lot of times I go on the conservative Reddit page just to see what they're talking about or how they're responding to issues like what's going on with the Epstein files, and they're making excuses again. It's just fascinating to me how they can excuse everything. And I mean, this guy is a we know that he's a pedophile. He
Oh
raped
yeah.
children.
Yeah.
There is not one redeeming quality to this person that they made their leader.
Yeah.
Shame on you all for doing
Good
that.
morning, Republicans. You made Donald Trump, who is a now outed
Yep,
pedophile,
right.
your leader.
And I mean, and even if, let's say, we know that he did participate in the rape of children because we have sworn testimony from Maria Farmer, who gave that
Hmm.
deposition until she was suing Trump until she was terrified into. Was it Maria Farmer? Or maybe I'm getting her name mixed up. The one who gave the deposition, and she was represented by Lisa Bloom, and they were going to court.
I
And
don't remember
yeah, I'll,
exactly.
I'll look it up, but maybe somebody in the chat can
There's
remind
been
me.
so many people who
Yes,
have women who have credibly come forward and accused
yeah, it's
them
not Maria Farmer.
of
It's
Katie. Is it Katie Johnson?
yes,
One,
yes, that's it,
the one
Katie
that
Johnson.
was
That's her
the
name.
one that was like sidetracked by Michael Cohen and like
Yeah,
silenced and all
right.
that. I still have questions on that, and I'd
Hmm.
really like answers now that we know what Michael Wolff did for
Hmm.
Epstein in giving him PR advice, which,
Yeah.
bro, that is not journalism. That
Well,
is aiding
yeah.
and abetting pedophilia and criminal acts. Intent. That's intent. Like, bro,
Yes.
that is literally how you go to prison. You should rethink what you're doing. And yeah, you may be suing Donald Trump and Melania right now, but that seems really
Yeah.
self-serving
Of
because
course.
you don't want to say anything because you want money from us and to feed you with fucking money so you
That's
can
it.
be rich off of this.
Yeah.
You've held on to pedophilia information and credible information that could have stopped Donald Trump from coming back
That's right.
to office. You could have literally done all of this a year, 2 years ago, right
Right.
after he got out of office. You were friends. You had all this information. You were literal friends with Jeffrey Epstein, bro. You've
Hmm.
raised so much money off of being friends with a pedophile and then not revealing any
Right.
of the information. Like,
Yep.
you're just a grifter too.
Yeah, they were all in it. I mean, this is the thing that, well, here's what it is that they don't consider the girls and now women survivors, they don't consider them human. That's why
Yeah.
they don't say anything, because it's their world. We just live in it. And that really is the truth. And nothing personifies that more than when one of Ghislaine Maxwell's friends asked her, "What the hell are you doing?" Because she ran into her. It was one of her English, high society friends ran into her in New York, and Ghislaine was out procuring girls,
Yeah.
underage girls, for this pedophile, and herself, of course. And her friend said to her, "What are you doing?" And Ghislaine Maxwell said, "Well, Jeffrey has such a high, such a, an insatiable sex drive. I could never meet his needs, so I, get him girls because he has to have sex like 3 times a day, which is like it's bullshit. Of course, he's just a pedophile,
Yeah.
and the friend was like, "What?" And she goes, "What? Yeah, they what she said was they are trash." It's in that Netflix documentary, and the woman tells the story, and that just sums it up. They are trash. Like, what are you caring
Mm,
about these girls? Why are you even expressing concern? It was probably it had probably been a long time since anybody expressed concern about these girls to her face, and she didn't know how to respond. What do you mean? They're trash. Everybody knows it. That's why nobody says
yeah.
shit. That's why Donald Trump doesn't say anything. That's why anyone in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit think it's comical. They think it's funny. When you look at that birthday book, of course they
Hmm.
all knew. They're drawing pictures of it. They're how it started, how it's going. Him handing candy to children and then them
Hmm.
sexually servicing him. I mean, they think it's funny. So they're trash.
Yeah.
We're trash. And that's how they think. And that's
Yeah.
why these people have to be taxed down to size. There's more of us than there are of them. I don't care how many
Yeah.
trillions they have. But then this is why they divide us. So,
Yes.
come on, people. E
Oldest
pluribus
strategy
unum.
in the book.
Hmm.
Divide and conquer.
Yep,
Yeah. Out of
exactly.
many, one.
That's
Our
right.
original motto as our nation, e pluribus unum, out of many, one.
All right. Reclaim
And
that.
yeah,
Hmm.
Tara and I are both patriots. Also, happy late Veterans Day. I know I
Yes.
said it to you
Yeah.
on
Thank you.
Veterans Day and sent that note out for everyone. But I hope people subscribe to Tara. Please,
Yes,
please come
please.
subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're on Substack in the top left-hand corner. Also, after you hit subscribe, there is a QR code in the top left-hand corner talking about like giving back and being a community and people who care is help support Feeding America and the Feeding America effort that we're doing. I'll put a big QR code here on the bottom for everyone too. Is through Sick of This Shit Publications. We're part of the overall Substack Scribes team. Our goal is to raise $20,000.
Nice.
We're just about halfway there. Like not
That's
like
great.
maybe $100 away, and we're halfway there. So donate, come support. We've had some incredible donations from people across the board. Some amazing, amazing folks in the community have given so much back, and
Wow.
that's what democracy is, and that's what it means to be a part of a democracy is community. Like we want to talk about democracy and how we win democracy back in this
Yes.
country and how do Democrats or on a local level, how do you talk as just a
Mm,
person who is pro democracy, who just happens to vote Democratic more often than not? And if you want to be part of the Democratic Party, run for something and do that
yep.
because then you can push the party is we support each other. It's all about community. The biggest message that we all can talk about that is one, authentic, and two, close to home for everybody is talk about your communities.
Yeah.
Is talk about what these impacts of democracy actually mean to your community and what that looks like. Democracy is voting every single day with your dollars, with your support, with your outrage against things like Donald Trump being in an email and in a house with an underage girl at Jeffrey Epstein's house, who is a known
Yeah.
pedophile for hours alone.
Oh,
Donald Trump is a pedophile
yeah.
until proven otherwise
Yeah. No,
at
he
this point.
totally
Like,
is. He
there's
is.
overwhelming evidence that has
Right.
come out that Donald Trump is a fucking pedophile.
Yeah. And I mean, we know
Republicans, you
he's a
voted for
rapist.
him.
Yeah.
What you gonna
Hmm.
do? Are
Right.
you have the power? Like Republicans and anyone in the country, not just Republicans, but
That's
everyone
right.
in the country, we have the collective power to talk about Epstein and just say, "Hey, call your senator, call your representative, demand that he either step
Hmm.
down or be
Oh,
impeached and removed and then convicted too." There
right.
is always the next step because he is not immune from pedophilia charges. He is not immune by some fake presidential immunity for actions he
Right.
did prior
Oh,
to the
please.
presidency.
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
that's bullshit. He is not
Yeah.
immune from shit. Like, that could also be overturned. So guess what? We've had worse things in the president in the that the SCOTUS has decided is constitutional before this. This one could be overturned too. Like,
Right. Oh, yeah, it
they've
has
shown
to
us
be.
too that precedent can be overturned with good precedent, like Roe v. Wade and the Dobbs decision could be
Mhm.
overturned. They said that that was on the table, so their decision is on the table too. President Trump,
Yeah.
your immunity that you think you have, and everyone around you who thinks you have immunity, is fake.
Right.
It's an illusion of immunity to give you pretend strength. What strength really is all of us giving back and talking about feeding America and supporting each other with our SNAP benefits. Even though SNAP benefits have been resumed, that's still going to be temporary. We know this. This is going away. They wanted it gone this time. They didn't get it this shutdown. They're going to do another shutdown and
They will
steal SNAP
always.
benefits again. They
Yeah,
always will
because
until they get what they
yeah,
want.
the whole thing that the whole Republican agenda is to drag us back to the times the founders fought a
It's
revolution to overthrow. That's what they're taking us back to a neo-feudal state where the rich run and rule and own everything, and everyone else, awaits their rewards in heaven. And that's why and I've been screaming about this for years, because all you got to do is look at every single Republican policy and take it to its conclusion. When they go after the separation of church and state, they hate public education. They call it government schools, like everything that is a pillar of democracy. And this is how Democrats have to message, but they don't, of course, because we have weak leadership, I believe, at this point.
Mhm.
Chuck Schumer is not the man for this job. He's
Neither is Hakeem Jeffries.
That's right. That's right. I mean, you need an honor, because you have to, in order to fight with the courage of your convictions, you have to have some convictions. And if your
And
conviction,
courage.
right, exactly. And if your courage and your conviction, I mean, you have no courage and your conviction is what? Uh, Regular order in the Senate. Republicans take back your party. That thing drives me nuts. I mean, I'm glad to hear that Nancy Pelosi's resigning
Yeah,
and
thank
or
frickin'
whatever,
God. It's
retiring.
time.
Yes, and Chuck Schumer should follow suit. But one of the weakest, most, I mean, they're all weak, but not all of them. Not the new Democrats, the fighters. The progressives
Yeah,
are yeah,
the old guard sucks.
yes, and but what Nancy Pelosi, there's so many clips of her online. I should do a video on that. But, I mean, but it doesn't matter anymore because she's retiring. But she would say, "Republicans, take back your party. The American people need a strong Republican Party that's done so much good for America." She would say this
Yeah.
all the time, and my head would explode, of course, because I mean, what kind of shit is that? First of all, that is not even true. If that was true, maybe I could understand, but
Mhm.
it's not even true, Nancy. So what are you pining for? And what she's pining for is that she doesn't want to do the hard work that's required of this moment. She wants them to do it. It's such a weak thing. Oh, well, take back your party. For why? Why? Because you're not going to stand up. Because you don't want to do anything. You just want to, oh, can't we just all get along? No.
Yeah.
And because find me one clip of Republicans saying anything close to that about Democrats. Democrats have done so much good for this country. No, not at all. And in fact, they can't even say the goddamn name of the Democratic Party, which drives me bonkers. And because it's
Mhm.
emblematic of how weak the Democratic Party leadership is. If you can't even stand up for your own name and you allow these scums to constantly call you outside your name, I mean, you look like a beaten dog. You don't look like the adult in the room. You look like you have given up. And it's like, a battered spouse. That's what you look like. If I had a partner who's like, was calling me names outside my name, then you're just like, okay, yeah, that's my name now. It's like, no,
Mhm.
you stand up.
Have
How much?
courage,
Right,
have a backbone.
right. And for them to call us Democrat Party, it drives me nuts. But it's only because it means, it is emblematic of how weak the Republican Party has made they've beaten the Democratic Party into submission. It seems, because as we see now, the Democratic Party, I mean, they have done so much good for
They
America. I mean,
have.
it's the only party that has, and we're going back to FDR and all, and there's no reason the Democrats shouldn't take credit for their own successes. Instead, they try to bring Republicans on board. The bipartisan this, like the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Why does that have
Yeah.
to be bipartisan? It's not. I mean, how many?
Stop trying to recuperate a party that
Exactly.
that is regressive. Like,
That's
one,
right.
the
Right.
if you are a conservative, fine. You're welcome in the Democratic Party. You're welcome out of the Democratic Party too, as an independent party or as a
Right.
third party platform. You guys are allowed to break apart the Republican Party yourselves. Like, libertarians, you have a party that has candidates across the country under the Libertarian Party name. You could easily break away from the
Right.
monolith of the Republican Party and become a real coalition party that forces change. But you don't want
Hmm.
to, because you're regressives too. You're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Right.
And until you prove that you're part of the solution, I'm not going to trust you. Thomas Massey, like, I trust him as far as the Epstein files,
Hmm.
and that's about it. Um,
Right.
and Marjorie Taylor Greene, I
Oh,
trust her as
please.
far
Yeah.
as the Epstein files, and the fact that she has political ambition to run for the Senate or other
Yes.
things. And you know what? We can use that as leverage.
Yeah.
She's a political tool. I don't fucking like her. I'm never going to like her. But if she votes for something I want because we have leverage over her in some way that is not quid pro
Yeah.
quo and not illegal and not blackmail, but like actual political human based leverage over her, where we convince her voters to pressure her all the time to do
Hmm.
the right thing, she'll probably do it every so often.
Right.
And that's good enough for now for what we need of her. Like,
Right. As long as
we
she
have to manage
votes. Right.
expectations on
Hmm.
the accountability that we can give to these people. Plus, we need to start seeing accountability in general. So
Right.
I
Yes.
want to get your thoughts around all of what just happened over the
With the
last. So
Epps.
I'm going to
Yeah.
phrase it in the way that Find Out podcast guys had talked about it a little bit this morning. Well, talked a lot about it this morning, just like a lot of us are. But the sequence of events kind of pisses me off. And it's super cowardly that the Democratic Senate members and independent Senate member decided to do what they did to end the shutdown.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And then we released these emails,
I
which
know.
could have been released separately or before the
Yep.
shutdown was ended. And then, had that been released, the Democratic Party
That's right.
would have had so much leverage
Yep. Even
of the
more.
truth to get rid of Donald Trump, and it would have fractured the fucking Republican
I
Party.
know.
Instead, we have weak, spineless cowards like Chuck Schumer
Yep.
and Hakeem Jeffries who folded to give away. We lost. Like, people ask me, why am I not happy about the shutdown ending? Great, people have their jobs back. I am happy about that, but we lost. Like, the
Yes.
Democratic Senate lost.
Yep.
They gave away ground with this shutdown deal. After all of this, if a vote happens on the Affordable Care Act, it's going to include abortion bans and harsher restrictions
Yep.
on women.
Yep.
The Republicans won because we didn't even get back to the status quo from before the shutdown.
That's
So
right.
the shutdown ended up being a waste because the Democrats couldn't hold the fucking line until the end because we have weak, spineless leadership and traitorous cowards
Yep.
who would rather live in their position, like, say, John Fetterman
Oh, please. Yeah.
or Angus King,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to live in their positions, or they're retiring and they don't give a shit about
Yep.
us because
Yep.
they're not part of us.
No,
They're
they don't
not
care.
us.
They have health
They're
care.
not we the people. Yeah, they
They
have
have
permanent
pension
health care, they have
Yeah.
pensions, they have retirement, they
For
have all the
life.
things that they tell us we don't
Right.
fucking deserve.
Yeah. They
And
have all those
accountability,
things. Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and accountability is us demanding that back. And I'm mad because the Democratic Party gave up health care. The
Yes.
option was the people loudly spoke across the nation and said, "Hey, we're going to tell you that we want both food, healthcare, and
Yeah.
more progressive values."
Yeah.
Yes, they are moderate, simple, down the middle center, human based values of we want food, healthcare, protection, and our jobs. Like they don't, and people across the country said that they just want nice, simple, nice things. And that's a
Yeah. Not
moderate,
much.
progressive view. Like that's just a general moderate progressive view of like, hey, I want kind of nice things with my taxes. And demanding that through our vote, American people said yes. Then the Democratic Senate folded.
That's right.
And then the House Oversight Committee, Democratic House Oversight Committee members released these emails. And Adelita Grijalva is now sworn in, and the votes are in. And now there's 3 more Republicans, plus, I'm assuming, that have signed on to this or are going to sign on to this effort. What do you think about the sequence and like how it all fell out and what it means for
Yeah.
maybe for the Democratic Party leadership nationally compared to where voters are actually at?
Well, clearly the Democratic Party leadership is not listening to the voters, and if they saw that historic landslide election and which was a portent of what's to come in the next elections, and Democrats are making ground in every election held, every special election, the Democrats are making ground, but to see that and say, and then to have Angus King, and I know people say, oh, he's an independent. It doesn't matter. He caucuses with the Democrats. So
Yeah.
it's incidental that he calls himself independent. It doesn't matter. He's a Democratic vote. So for him to say, um, standing up to Donald Trump doesn't work is the most pathetic thing I've heard since Republicans Take Back Your Party, and other
So
pathetic
weak.
things. It really
Like
is.
the weakest of weak
Right.
is,
It's
well, it
don't
was
try.
hard, so we just gave up.
Right. And we
What
got nothing. And they
and
they,
we
they it doesn't matter that they are winning, and this is why the leadership has to go. The
yeah,
people were telling them to hold the line. And I know, and here's the thing, that a lot of some union members, though, this is why we have to reclaim patriotism and get our unity back, because a lot of union members were telling the Democrats to open the government because they have health care. So what
yes.
do they give a shit? They have their health care. They need their checks. Yeah, I understand it. But that's why this "I got mine, sucks to be you" is the death of us. Will be the death of
Yes.
democracy of this
Yeah.
country.
So
And yeah.
Shane Urich and I talked a little bit about this yesterday when we were talking about socialism, just in general, and the
Hmm.
types of socialism. And the U.S. has this weird relationship with democratic socialism, whereas most voters and most of the populace want socialized democracy, which is a different thing. So democratic socialism is pretty union based, is guilds and
Yeah.
unions, and they provide your pensions and your benefits, and the government sort of just adds a little bit of
Yeah.
regulation to make sure that they continue to do those things, but it's a generosity thing, and it's easily corruptible. Whereas socialized democracies are what, say, Finland and Norway and the Netherlands and other countries in Europe have, where the government owns the social systems and provides them by default. Like we
Hmm.
need universal basic income
Yeah.
because we pay taxes, and our labor has produced things that are intangible at this point. We should be giving dividends back basically for medical research and healthcare research, for AI.
Right. Yeah.
AI could pay itself back
Oh yeah.
as dividends to people. It's a wealth cap and a wealth minimum that we need in this country where everybody can live anywhere affordably without the fear of being
Yeah.
hungry or without housing. And those aren't radical
It's
policies.
not.
That's
And
that's a social
exactly.
democracy.
And
It,
that's what made America great. This is the
it's FDR.
irony, yes, that we have to reclaim, and that's why, to reiterate, the leadership is not going to do this. That's why they got to go. Because how hard is it to say? See, the American people love socialism. That's the unspoken truth here. But because the Democratic Party of the leadership thinks that's a bad word, they don't like the word socialism because Republicans have been very successful in their branding, and that's why propaganda works. But
Mhm.
all that democratic socialism is highly regulated capitalism with a strong social safety net. That's it. How hard is that to say and to explain to the American people? Because they do this on the corporate media all the time. They'll have a poll. Americans don't like socialism. By this margin. Do they even ask them what the definition of
What
socialism is?
socialism is,
Yeah, they have,
or what type of socialism they want.
they don't know. They just don't like socialism. But to assume that they know what the hell you're talking about, or when you ask that question, they don't like the word socialism, just like they don't like Obamacare, but they like all of the provisions of
They like the
Obamacare.
Affordable Care Act, but if
Yes.
you call it Obamacare, they get pissed off.
Yeah, they like the pre-existing conditions protection. This is why they're like infants. It's really annoying, and that's why the Democrats suck at messaging. Well, that's why the Democrats suck at the leadership. They need to start listening to this show. To Tara Buster, to Sick of this show, to all of the anti-fascist book club. Hello, and reclaim the message. But they don't. It just seems that the leadership doesn't have the will to do it. They don't care. They're whatever. They're fine. They have health care. They have pensions. But the thing is, what's going on with the shutdown too? When talking about Obamacare, what's getting me nuts is that. And the Democrats are allowing the Republicans to get away with the talking point of saying, well, Democrats ruined health care. And now they want us to pay for it, right? Democrats
Yeah.
ruined healthcare. How? That's the talking point. So the talking
Mhm.
point for Republicans is Obamacare ruined healthcare because it was so fucking great before, right? When people would get cancer and get a notice that they were kicked off their care, when millions continue to go bankrupt, or when you couldn't get pre-existing conditions protections, when they charged women more than men, when you couldn't get hospitalization, or like when you needed it, you found out you didn't have prescription drugs, you didn't have hospitalization, you didn't have preventive care. I mean, you can get any shit junk policy for cheap. Yeah, and then when you need it, you find out that you really don't have health care. That's why the United States pay it's the I think it was 16% of the GDP at the time. I think it's more now, of our gross domestic national, or gross national, you know what I'm trying to say.
Gross domestic product
Yes,
or
yeah,
national income, whatever they want to
goes
claim
into
it as.
healthcare. We spend more, that twice as much as the next most expensive country. We leave millions out. We bankrupt millions, kill thousands, and consistently rank dead last on all positive measures. And that's because of the for-profit health insurance racket that Obamacare was trying to fix. And so,
Yes.
no, Obamacare did not make premiums go up. It was Republican sabotage of Obamacare. And the reason the they're calling it the Unaffordable Care Act, Republicans, right? Because they took away every mechanism to make it affordable. The mandate, the tax penalty if you don't get health care, and of course the subsidies that we the people were paying the insurance racket to cover sick people. That was Marco Rubio who did away with these, what
Hmm.
was called the risk corridors. I don't know. Everything that I'm hearing with the Republicans and Democrats now talking about this, not a friggin' single Democrat brings this up.
Yeah.
They don't fight back. How
Yeah.
are the American people supposed to know this if they hear a Republican lie saying Obamacare ruins healthcare, and there's no counter to that. There's
Yeah.
no
Well, the funny thing is, I was listening in on a live this morning with Amanda Littman, who is one of the founders, or I think the founder of RunForSomething.net. And
mhm,
she helps people run as local, state level candidates, not national. These aren't for federal office runs. These are for state and local candidacies. Please go to runforsomething.net and join if you're interested in running something for something. They do incredible work. Um, and they were talking about this morning, and Stephanie Wilson and I
mm,
had a couple questions and comments answered in the chat today by Amanda. And one of the responses that she ended up giving boiled down to, instead of we get the democracy we work for or we get the party we work for, it's we get the party we negotiate for, or we get the democracy we negotiate for. And we need to
mm,
start thinking and acting on when we have negotiations from a position of strength,
right.
and start using that strength,
Yeah.
because we need people who are better negotiators. We need people who are willing to
Amen.
negotiate from strength,
Yeah.
like AOC and Jasmine Crockett
Yes.
and James Tallarico and
Right.
young Democrats who are coming in. David Hobbs is doing it from the outside, and he's trying to break places in the system. And yeah, do I think he did things wrong when he got into the DCCC or whatever it was he was in? Sure. But at the same point, he's still doing stuff, and he's actively trying to make the party better
Mhm.
and more progressive and get
Right.
rid of a lot of this corporatist mentality,
Yes.
because corporate Democrats are just fascist light. They want fascism later, not now, because they're part of the market socialist system.
Uh-huh.
They want market socialism, which is a slightly different version. This is where people don't like socialism. Market socialism is a monopsony, is
Mhm.
when the government controls basically
Yeah.
both the means of production and the means of distribution,
Yeah,
but
but nobody's talking about that.
they
Yeah.
do it through market manipulation and private entity ownership,
Mhm.
such
Mhm.
as SpaceX,
Right.
Palantir,
Hmm.
Raytheon, groups like that.
Right.
Those are government subsidy funded market socialism, which means the government owns them to their core. Elon Musk is basically owned by
Yes.
the government, but he is a public
Oh, he's a
company,
parasite. He's a big,
not under the
yeah.
private, or he's a
Mhm.
private company, not under the public sphere of regulation in a lot of ways, because he gets to hide everything. It's what Russia does with oligarchs. It's
Yes.
how come Putin has a market socialized democracy, is
Yeah.
because they have a fake market. They
Yeah.
have oligarchs who have wealth, but Putin owns all of it.
Yeah.
Just like America is turning into, where Donald Trump owns everything,
Yes.
and the tech billionaires lease it from him
That's
through
right.
their major donations, say Timothy Mellon of $150 million to try and pay our soldiers, which is
Oh, I know.
highly
Yeah.
illegal and needs to be investigated. And the Oversight Committee
Exactly.
on the House and
That's
Senate
not
needs to
patriotism. Yeah.
investigate this. And
Exactly.
so does the Armed Forces Committees on both sides. They need to investigate this immediately. Like, no private citizen should ever be donating directly to the
Right.
pay of soldiers without congressional approval, oversight, and funding
And
regulation.
it's right out of the fall of the Roman Republic. I mean, who is he?
It's
Pompey
right
the
out of
Great,
Hunger
you know?
Games.
Yeah.
Like,
I
they
mean,
they want to use market socialism to make it look like private entities still own things, where it's business, where it's really owned by the government of this small tech group of oligarchs. It's all about oligarchy and robber barons and
yes.
this little elite group. Um, and there's something wrong with these people.
Well,
It's and my
it's allowed. They're allowed to get away with it because the American people are so mal-informed.
and
They
there's
think
no
that's patriotism,
accountability.
right? They're like, and there's no accountability. Absolutely. I mean, look at this. They think there are conservatives think, oh, isn't that great? Look, the guy gave all this money to pay the troops. without even considering how anti-American that is, how
Yeah, they
against the
don't ask the next
Constitution.
question.
Like, what the hell? And
Yeah.
why? How is this even allowed to? I mean, they don't have the history of. They just don't know how democracies are fragile, how they fall. It seems they think, and a lot of them don't care either. That's the other thing.
Hmm.
They don't want to share with people who are different. That's why it takes a level of maturity to function in a free, democratic, diverse society, and they don't care. They don't have that maturity. They want a big daddy to save them. That's why they're always like daddy's home, and because they don't have the adult mentality to function in a democracy. They want to let daddy take care of it, and daddy will teach them and own the libs and put everybody in
Hmm.
their place and make this scary complex world a bit more understandable to me, and I won't be as frightened or whatever. But that's why you have to start young and teach young people about civics and democracy and social responsibility, and the actual meaning of words that don't come from Rupert Murdoch's poison pustule propaganda mills, and a lot,
Yeah.
because that's why we're here, and
Yep.
we didn't get here overnight.
No.
It's really a byproduct of money and politics and the propaganda that this country has really been afflicted with propaganda, and
Oh yeah.
right-wing billionaires. Half the country is they think, for example, I mean, just everything that Trump does, they think is somehow excusable. And that's why with these Epstein files, like, even him destroying the White House, because, like I said, I go on to the conservative Reddit page, they're making excuses for that.
Yeah.
Imagine, and all you have to do is imagine a Democrat doing that. Imagine Biden doing that, and how it would be
Well,
unacceptable, of
well,
course.
it's the whole thing with like, oh, Bill Clinton's on the list,
Yeah.
or Bill
Well,
Gates
good.
is Bill
Then he
Gates. Who
should be
gives a fuck?
held accountable.
Yeah,
And
hold these people accountable. They're gross,
exactly.
disgusting human beings.
Yep.
And my wife and I were talking about it a little bit this morning. There's a difference between billionaires out there. There are billionaires who worked for and continue to work for their money, and they work really hard. And a lot of them are billionaires, but not all of them. Like Taylor Swift, she is someone who she's a creator. She actually works
Hmm.
for her shit, and she bought all of her stuff back because some other
Right.
asshole made her pay $500 million to
Yeah.
own
For
her
her own
own
stuff.
music.
Yeah.
Like, good for her. She's working her ass off and giving back. She works for her money. She's a celebrity. She's a creator. She's working to build something. Whereas folks like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Donald Trump, they don't create.
No.
They're billionaires by generation.
Yeah.
So they're just gifted money. And so there's a really distinct difference, I think, in like instant ownership and like how you've perceived the world on if you actually worked to make your money versus you were just handed your money.
Oh, yep. Yep. Yep.
And I mean, there aren't self-made billionaires,
No.
Shane. It's a great question. Yes, it's all exploitation, and I'm not saying that anyone should be a billionaire. I think
No, they shouldn't
I've talked
exist.
about this. There should be a wealth minimum and a wealth cap,
Yeah.
where we use whatever is made over that wealth cap goes right back into the systems and adds to the minimum, so everyone has an equal
Yes.
chance
That's
and
right.
an equal opportunity, so that we can all live the American dream and we can all
That's
pursue
right.
happiness, because that's what we want. Yeah, Shane and I talked about this yesterday. Go listen to Shane and my article from yesterday. I'll put it in the show notes. Was we talked all about socialism and these various types and these very different types of socialism, and what they actually mean is Shane and I talked a lot about how the subtle difference between democratic socialism and social democracies,
Mm-hmm.
and where we could actually be somewhere on that spectrum, because that's the regulation state where we can actually regulate shit but then give back to ourselves. Because if we want to treat it like a business, businesses provide dividends and investments and return on your investment for shareholders. So if the government is a business, US citizens are the shareholders, and we deserve a return on our investment from that business. If they want to treat it like a business, we get our dividends back. And so whatever we make, we also get money and profit from, which is a universal basic income, which we're guaranteed to, because ding, 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 millionaires can pay fucking millions of dollars back in taxes. It's not that hard. It
Mm-hmm.
is the joint wealth. It is what, Tara, you talked about at the very beginning, the founding of our nation, and how they pooled their wealth for the common good.
Mm-hmm.
We need to convince billionaires again to pool their wealth for the common good,
Well,
or
that's
we'll
why you
take it
tax them,
from them.
and that's why. And as FDR said, if they gripe, oh, we're gonna leave, oh well, we will miss you,
Yeah,
and
bye.
bye bye.
You're going to
Exactly.
get taxed more elsewhere.
Go
So,
shrug already.
yeah.
That's why they're always
Yeah.
like Atlas will, that whole Atlas shrug myth. Oh, Atlas will shrug and we'll fucking shrug off already.
Yeah.
Leave us
Go
alone. Go
fucking
to
move like you talk about.
yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, we'll be fine. In fact, I think we'd be more than fine without these sociopaths on our, sucking on our federal treasury like it was their birthright, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes me sick too. But it makes the country sick, not just me. And and what makes me sick is watching right wingers applaud that kind of behavior too, as we see in what's happening now, when they were on they're losing their jobs and people were struggling, and now the healthcare is unaffordable. They're all crying about, well, I voted for you 3 times and now it's hitting me, and now they're seeing the light because they're so happy to vote for the pain of others, which, shame on you, really.
Yeah.
There has to be, we have to get rid of this pathological selfishness. But yes, I mean, and the topic we're talking about is accountability too, about these Epstein files, that Trump is a pedophile. Is he going to is this
Is he going to
administration?
resign? He
Yeah. Oh,
won't.
no, no,
But
no,
he
no,
won't. But accountability would, if the Republicans actually wanted to take back their party, which they don't,
no.
but if they actually wanted to do something useful, you could
Right.
demand he resign, or impeach him,
It's
because
incredible.
it's that easy. Like, you guys could end your own nightmare, but you choose not to,
No,
because it's your favorite
exactly.
nightmare.
They
You
had
love
so
being
many.
tortured by daddy.
Yes, they
Um,
had so many opportunities to get rid of this monster who with no
yeah,
redeeming quality. I mean, when you think about the fact
none,
that
no redeeming
not
quality.
at all, that in the Epstein files that we know, that to counter the 3 emails that the Democrats released saying that Trump was well aware of Jeffrey Epstein being a pedophile and spent time alone with one of the victims, that in the 20,000 pages that the Republicans released, it says, and I don't know why they thought this would help him. It says that I'm trying to look for the exact quote, that he's disgusting, that Trump is
Mhm.
dirty. This is Jeffrey Epstein talking about
Yeah.
Trump.
Are they
That he,
trying to just are they trying to make it seem like he wouldn't do it because he's gross and disgusting? That
yeah,
makes me think he's going to do it more
yeah,
because he's gross and
he says,
disgusting.
I know how dirty Donald is, and that he's the most, he said something about him, he's untrustworthy and he's borderline insane, and that he is, has no redeeming qualities. I mean, this is a pedophile telling a
Yeah.
friend, another pedophile, about a fellow, co-pedophile. And
How gross
it's
the
how
other
gross.
pedophile is. Like, one pedophile going, man, this other pedophile is
Right.
fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
Like,
he says he
I'm
has
bad,
no.
but man, this guy
Right,
is bad.
right. Like
Like,
he's Jeffrey Epstein is calling Donald Trump dirty. I know how dirty he is. And he's
You
not
compare them
talking
to a
about
dog. I don't think these
yeah,
people know what dogs are, like,
right.
or how
Yes.
dogs operate either, because they always use dog in the wrong
Yes.
way
I know
and
they hate
wrong thing.
dogs.
And yeah, Michael Wolf, as in the comments, accountability is going to come for you, Michael Wolf. You held on to information that literally could have ended this entire nightmare. You're still
Yeah.
holding on to information that could have ended all of this nightmare. I don't know if you're under a court order not allowing you to reveal any of it, because you've never said you were. And if you aren't under a court order, bro, you're complicit. You gave PR advice to Jeffrey Epstein on how to blackmail someone about
Right.
pedophilia.
Well, and
Like,
also
bro, that's not
he's
journalism. That's aiding and abetting.
and
Criminals be criminaling.
exactly. And also that we know, I mean, we already know that Trump is a Putin bitch. So
Yeah, yeah.
he's in the it's in the Epstein files too,
He's a
Epstein reaching out to Putin and them saying like, I know I'm the Trump whisperer. I could teach you how to talk to him, but they're all in on it. Trump is a puppet. Just like Hillary Clinton said, he's a puppet. And yeah, but I don't know.
yeah,
Is this where's the bottom, Republicans? Is what won you over, Republicans? Was it the coup? Is it the sexual predator part?
yeah,
Is it the what is it? Is it the complete bottomless lack of any redeeming qualities? Is like what really won you over, Republicans, with
yeah,
with your standard bearer?
yeah.
It's baffling to me
And
how
I'm gonna read a note I put out this morning on it, because y'all, we've hit the bottom. Like, we hit the fucking cement bottom, and then they drilled through it and they kept fucking going down. And so grab Trump by the emails. When we are powerful, he'll let you do it. You can just walk up to him and
ah,
start
I love
squeezing.
it.
Make tiny testicle Trump squirm. Release the
Yes,
pedophiles.
there
Like,
you go.
that's it. That's the message.
That's
Give us
it.
health care, give us food, give us
Yeah,
housing, release the pedophiles.
that's right.
Like,
That's right.
that's it. Release
There,
the
I mean,
pedophiles.
think about how Pam Bondi, Cash Patel met with
Have,
Lauren Boebert in the
have you seen how
Situation Room.
Cash's eyes have changed since becoming
Oh
the
God, yeah.
director of the FBI? Like, he used to have like normal eyes, and now he's always like, "Oh my God, I have
Right.
seen the shit, and I can't say any of this shit because they'll kill me if I say all
Yes,
the
that's
shit.
it.
But I want to say the shit, and so much cocaine, and so fast, and on so many flights that are just stealing all our money and using our money while the government was shut down, to
That's what
go
it
see his
is.
girlfriend and go on hunting
Yeah.
trips and other shit.
Yeah.
Cocaine Cash, you over there with the big eyes, knowing some shit. Like, bro, you know some shit. I've seen those. Those are the eyes of someone who knows some
Yeah, but
shit and needs to
yeah,
squeal.
it just goes to show you how much Republicans waste everyone's time all the time. They have nothing to offer the American people,
No.
and they're not sincere in any of the faux rages that they foment from one faux rage to the next. They're not trying to solve any problems. They're in fact creating the problems and then giving fake solutions to make it worse. And it just goes to show you that I mean, you don't treat people like this that you respect. If you have respect for the country and the community that you pretend to serve, you don't behave like this. You don't drag them on wild goose chases. You don't give them, you don't divide people up. You don't give them fake outrages to go on
Mhm.
and scream about. You try to make the community and the country better for people, but they're not doing that ever.
No.
And so we had to listen to them go on and on about the Epstein files, release the Epstein files, even, JD Vance. I mean, they're so full of shit all the time. That's what really aggravates me, because they rob us of our decency, our dignity, our democracy. I mean, they embarrass us on the world stage. We will not get our reputation back in my lifetime. And they set the future up for failure. They have nothing to offer the American people. And
Yeah.
so, and they talk about, the Epstein files, release the Epstein files, because they think it's going to hurt Bill Clinton. Well, good. Let it. If he's in there, he should be held accountable. But now that you know that when they see what's in there, that Pam Bondi, this horrible person who should be the attorney general for the people, not Donald Trump. That's the other thing that people are missing in this. What is the attorney general doing meeting in the situation room for a problem about Trump being a pedophile? Like, that they don't want the American people to know this. And that's not the attorney general's problem. She should be prosecuting him in the name of the people. That's what her job is, not to be the attorney general for the pedo. And Cash Patel, same thing. They put me in there and I'll hold everybody accountable. And then there they are, knowing that Trump raped children, most likely, and they're covering it up. They're doing everything they can to cover it up. So why? Because they want to make America great? Because they give a shit about people who are suffering, hungry, or scared that they're not going to get their damn chemo treatments or their diabetes medicine? I mean, they're fucking no. There's just, excuse my language. My God, it's only noon, and I mean, it's just, what is it? Why?
Yeah.
Who votes for these people? And shame on you if you don't wake up now. A 3-time Trump voter, there's something wrong with you. But even now, if you're what is it? What is wrong with you? It's not about him anymore. It's about you.
No. It's what is wrong with you as a person that you are
Right.
accepting pedophilia as normal?
Right.
Like, one of the 2 things I learned growing up as probably a semi-sheltered kid from Vermont, because, Vermont's a kind of sheltered state in a lot of ways, is that there are 2 types of criminals out there that die first in prison. God, that's not a celebration. Please don't celebrate that.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
arsonists, because criminals don't think they're really criminals, and pedophiles, because
Yes.
criminals hate pedophiles too, because most of them have
That's true.
kids. Most of them
Yeah.
would
Or
never
were
touch a
kids.
child, or were
And
kids, or were
who
raped.
were abused, So,
Yeah.
mhm.
And so, like, what is wrong with you personally at this point that you would support and defend pedophilia? And
I
that's
mean, they
it. Like,
defend
you're
everything.
defending taking
Yes.
away food from people who need it. You're defending not you,
Yeah.
not Tara, not us,
No, yeah.
AGA. You are defending taking away food from Americans, taking away healthcare, and killing millions of
Yep.
people in the process, and protecting pedophiles. You do it in your
Like
church.
everything that
You
is
do it in
horrible.
your homes. You do it in our political life.
Right.
You protect pedophiles. That is the Republican Party, is pedophile protection, is regressive policies to take away and protecting pedophiles.
I mean, it's
That's it.
amazing.
That's your party.
Yeah,
That's your
no
party,
health care,
Republicans.
starvation, no education, no
Rugged
safe
individualism.
communities.
Do
Yeah.
it on your own.
Yeah, just be
Get rid of police forces, get rid of the firefighters, get rid of the
that's what they
ambulances,
would
get
love.
rid of EMTs, get rid of public roads, get rid of all of it if you want.
Yeah.
That's rugged individualism.
Oh, they
Do it
wouldn't
on your
want
own.
that. They don't
You
want that.
like
That's why
socialism.
they love it. They want the benefits of civilization. They just don't want the responsibilities we have to each other. And that's the party of personal responsibility. They only stick to that motto when they're trying to deny someone health care or a hot lunch program at school or school in general. So, they're
And this
full of
is
shit.
why part of accountability is, like Shane said, is find people who share our values, empower them, and get them to run for office.
Right.
Runforsomething.net is a place to start.
Great.
Runforsomething.net is the best place to start if you want to do something local, which is actually where you make change, because local democracy changes national democracy. Like, the more local we are in our democracy and our efforts, and the more we move the Democratic Party and eventually break it up into smaller parties, just like the Republicans
Mm-hmm.
can and will eventually do it to their own because they're eating themselves, is start by running for a local office. Start by running for something. The good thing about runforsomething.net and what Amanda Littman does is they also help find campaign financing, and they help support you and teach you how to do all the work and teach you how to help build a team and get support and get volunteers like Banner and Backbone, Sick of the Shit show, the Sick of the Shit publications. These wouldn't exist without support from friends and volunteers who come on with me and on the shows and help build the network and promote it. That's
Yeah,
exactly what you need to do for a political
that's
campaign,
right. Yeah.
is build a network of friends who want to help promote you and know that you have good ideas. And if you've ever thought of running, run for something. I've thought of running. I signed up for
Oh, wow.
runforsomething.net. I cannot run
You
right
should
now
run.
for my local, for the state office that I would run for, because I don't actually live in the district yet that I'm going to be living in. And I think it would be wrong for me to run for an
Mm,
office for the district that I'm currently in if I'm going to move out of it and
I
then
see.
represent a different district, because I think that's wrong, is to represent the wrong people.
Right.
Like
Right. You're not
I would
district
want to,
shopping like
yeah, I'm
Marjorie
not
Taylor
district
Greene or Lauren
shopping
Boebert.
for
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I'd love to run against the other guy who's there because his name is Nick and he sucks. Um, and I'd like to take the name back from him. But the district that I could run for, I need to live in, and I don't live in it yet. I own property, but I don't live there,
Mm,
so I cannot claim that I'm a part of the community yet, and I want to represent a community that I'm part of.
right.
So if you are part of a community where you do want to run for something. It can be city council, it can be school board, it could be dog catcher, it could be sheriff if you have
Mm,
something. It could be a lot of different things. Like go run for something. A lot of candidate filing deadlines are coming up very soon, and yes, they are expensive. Ask for support. If you want to run for something and you have a progressive voice, and I know, Tara, I'm keeping you over a
no,
little
you're
bit.
not. I'm
Progressive
fine. I
voice,
have nowhere to go except
um,
here. And where,
is
yeah, this is great. Thank you.
thanks. I'm glad you're hanging around with me. Is when you
Yeah.
run for something, if you run for an office and you have good ideas and you share real pro democracy values, equality values, where everyone has value and everyone deserves dignity, ask me for an interview and I will come let you promote your campaign and promote what you're doing. And I will give you a spot so that you can come and showcase who you are and use those as ad spots or whatever you want for your campaign. Like,
Mm-hmm.
go run for something, and I will freely give you my time to let you voice your opinion. And I have a fairly large audience at this point, and
Mm-hmm.
I have a fairly large network of people who I know in various circles. Like I know people on the Find Out podcast. I know Tara Devlin and the Political
Yes.
Voices Network,
Yep.
who would also offer space because Tara is amazing.
Yes.
And candidates, if you're out there, come ask too. We can't always come and reach you. You also have to come ask for our support. I know it's hard, and I know it's most people don't always offer that as a service for you, but come on to my show if you are running for something, if you are running a campaign in any place right now and you want a voice to promote what your campaign is, come run for something, sign up, do all the stuff, and then DM me and ask for an interview, and I will interview you. You all know me. I'm pretty blunt. I'm not going to let you get away with stupid answers and dumb opinions. But if you have good ideas and you're willing to defend them, come defend them, because then you'll be able to show back to your community that you're getting attention also. It builds attention. Positive energy builds positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
So let's build some positive energy with each other.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap how old or young you are if you want to run for office. If you have good progressive values and you want moderate things like healthcare for all, a universal basic income, housing for all, education for all through all
Yes.
levels of education from pre K and like childcare support to masters and PhDs, all of it. None of it should be uncovered. Trade schools, like all of it should be covered as part of education. That's a
Right.
moderate view. If you guys believe in that, if you believe in those and you believe in human dignity, that people are people, come ask me for an interview and I'll interview you and I'll let you come on and give your campaign a boost. I
Hmm.
don't care.
Well,
My time is
universal.
free right now for you, for folks, because it's democracy time. Let's go
Yeah.
flood the zone with democracy.
Well, I mean, when you mentioned universal basic income, that used to be a conservative idea. Instead of having a social safety net, that was their idea. When they used to have at least some ideas, not
Yeah,
concepts of a plan,
and
but
if you're,
it was proposed by Nixon, a
mhm,
universal basic income. He called it the Family Assistance Plan, which was
yeah,
a guaranteed income, and it was also endorsed by Milton Friedman. So there would be no that you couldn't fall below a certain floor as an American. That would, doesn't sound too bad. In fact, even Paul Ryan used to talk about universal basic income. But now
mhm.
what do they talk about? Bootstraps and trans people in the bathroom. And I'm just so sick of it. That's why I love the name of the show too, because
I am so
but
sick of it.
yeah, and it's like the somebody in the chat. I just have to mention something, but I don't know if they were being facetious or not. They said I don't depend on the government for anything. Now, I guess the word depend, does a lot of work there, but that is not true for anybody, and we have to, I think, reclaim our just reclaim government, because when Republicans are saying that they hate government, and what they're talking about is democracy. They like government just fine. They like authoritarian government on your neck. They just don't like
Yes.
democracy.
Yeah, they
But
like a boot on your neck,
yes,
not
so
a
they
boot in
love
your
government.
closet.
They love government. But so everyone depends on government. If you use a road, a sidewalk, a bridge, public transit, these are government.
The mail,
Yeah, drinking
USPS.
water,
Like,
sewage systems. You woke up. You didn't have to. In ancient Rome, they used to have to spend at least. That was one of the complaints in early Rome, was that they had to spend 4 hours going to the water and bringing it back. So 2 in the morning and 2 at night. And then they built the aqueducts and brought some public water into the city. So
it's
you
pooling
don't.
our wealths and resources into a single place for a unified effort,
Yeah,
almost like our founders did.
right.
Like, they
So you
pooled their
have,
resources,
you
rich
know,
people.
you don't have to go, and you have some basic needs met. So then we could really prosper here, and we don't have to go dig a well. We don't have to build our own roads, or when I open up the tap, the water comes out clean. I at least I expect it. I'm not going to get diarrhea from drinking my morning coffee.
Mhm.
And yeah, so there's even people who say that they've never been on welfare or any kind of public assistance benefit from the people who are on Social Security, unemployment insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, because they provide economic stability for your community. So, and you see what's happening in a lot of these places, these maggot places who voted for this shit, that are losing their subsidies and public assistance and all this. I just saw something on the leopards eating my face Reddit page, where there is hospitals are closing, but there was this one place. I think it was like they had like one local diner that's
Mhm.
closing because people are unemployed now, and because it's not just because of the shutdown either. It was because Republicans fired. The minute they got into office, they started mass firing of Americans, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Anybody who votes for somebody who fires millions of Americans? I mean, it's just, who
Yeah, who
does this?
impoverishes millions of
Right.
Americans and makes it then harder in the job force for anybody else to
Exactly.
get a
That's
job.
Well, they love that because they want you nice and malleable and desperate. That's what
Yes.
they like. They like
Yeah.
it. A labor force that is hanging by a thread. They say, "Yes, sir. Yes, 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 my lord." Yeah, right. I mean, that's what they want. And
Hmm.
that's why they don't want us to unify, because we're stronger together than we are. This is the oldest tricks in the book. Even like in the early parts of the labor movement, they went after labor organizer. I mean, the anti-labor organizers went in and would say, well, you don't want to call some n-word your brother. That was the way that they would divide people.
Hmm.
It's always along these distinctions, differences with, what do they call that, differences without a distinction, or distinctions without a difference.
Yeah.
Your skin color, or your ethnicity, or wherever your or country of origin might be, your immigration status. All of these things are incidental,
Hmm.
because we have more in common with each other. In fact, we will, alone we can survive, but together we will thrive if we
Yep.
get out of our own way and do it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
tired of it. I'm just tired of the division, the drinking of our tears. That's another thing the Republicans are sick. Oh, they like to trigger the libs and drink our tears. You know, I'm not trying to drink your tears, conservatives. I just want to make sure you don't die without health care, or you can
Yeah.
go to a doctor when you're sick, right?
I'm excited to get people to run for something. So
Yes,
continue runforsomething.net, because we push the Democratic Party, the message,
yes,
um, the actions, the actual platform, by taking it over from the
yes,
inside and being the one
absolutely.
running for office. So if you want a progressive candidate and you're a progressive, run as a progressive candidate.
Yep,
And you'll probably find a lot of support if you're a good person and don't have some weird
yep.
baggage like you're a pedophile. Please don't be a pedophile. Don't have Nazi
No
tattoos,
pedophile.
things like
Yeah.
that. Like, let's try and be better morally on our side, because we have moral foundations. Um, but I also want to, before, as we close out the show, is I want to get your final thoughts on this idea of forcing the system on them at
Mm,
some point, because they keep trying to, like, we get the democracy we negotiate for, and at some point here soon, we're going to have the majority again
mm,
of
yeah.
negotiating power in a very strong way. I think
Oof,
even with the cheating that's going to be coming up and the
yeah.
unfair and
That's right.
unfree election that we're going to have in 2026, I still think Democratic candidates are going to overwhelmingly win in a tidal wave,
Right.
which means we would have the power to actually enact things.
Oh, I know.
And
Wow.
although we can't enact everything just as a legislative branch, there could be some major things that they do push
Mm,
into and then take and run the messaging. But this is negotiating with power. Is, what are your thoughts about eventually, when we have the power back in both branches that we need, is just forcing it onto the system of, here's the plan, here's a 50-year plan of how we're going to do it in 5-year increments at this point, or 4 years, because that's what we got, 4 to 8 years, is we're going to ram it through. Every single fucking thing is just going to get rammed through by a simple majority, or a super
mm,
majority, depending on how many people are there. Because if it's a super majority, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's veto proof. Like, that's what people forget, is if we have a super majority in legislature, it is veto proof from the president. He can try, but he can't stop. And so you flood the zone with amazing things and then take fucking credit for it. Like, what do you think about that?
well,
Flood the
what do you
zone with
mean?
democracy and take credit for it. Like, we rammed through a 99% tax rate on anything made personal wealth over $100 million, let's say, some arbitrary number. And then we set, here is our goal in 4 to 10 years. In starting with this, you're gonna, like, all, because of all this immediate investment that's coming back in, you can start at this smaller sum of money that's going to be coming out, with a plan that automatically increments into a percentage base of whatever our GDP is, and however much we actually return in investment is how much people get back, based on an average across the country. Just ram it through. Don't compromise. don't fucking compromise. Don't ask for their opinion. Don't
Oh God.
meet in the middle. Don't
Yeah.
find a way to
Oh.
fucking
Oh
meet with
no.
fascists, and just say, this is what we're doing,
Oh.
and do it. Fucking do
Well.
it. Have some balls
Yeah.
for the men on the side. For women, vagina up, and fucking like men sack up, women vagina up, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Do them kegels and just fucking
Yeah.
walk it. Like take
Well.
take it and just run with it, because that's what the American people are demanding.
Yes. Well,
And
I
if you
agree.
want to show strength, negotiate from strength. What do you think?
You're right. No, I mean when I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, my God, the Democrats would never do that with this current leadership, because they'll be more interested in saying, we got bipartisan, well, this is a bipartisan consensus to because whenever there's something good, Republicans come in and they weaken it, like the ACA, which had a public option. That's the other thing that they destroyed. Well, it was Lieberman uh, took that out. He was a
Yeah.
Democrat, but a conservative, and his wife worked for the health insurance racket. So, he's burning in hell now. I guess, how many did he kill since taking away the public option? And that was one thing that would have kept insurance rates low. So yeah, and I don't know. What I would like to see is Democrats ram through things that will fix the system, so another Trump can never come again and rise
Mhm.
again. But one of the things I would love to see them ram through is a public option, is Medicare for all. But you have to have, do the Democrats even agree on that? Is that, and I know the Progressive Caucus used to be a very small group of people.
It's not
Now,
small anymore.
not anymore, not anymore. So, and I think that the Democrats have to rally around Medicare for all, and because that's another thing that will unify the country. This is how we have to message it too, that it's not just a good thing, it's not just cost effective, which it is. It's less expensive, and it is, but it's also a patriotic imperative, because we don't leave people behind in America.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
how the Democrats have to message it. We don't leave anybody behind in America. I don't know why you think it's okay that millions of Americans have no health care. That's not acceptable. So
Mhm.
message it like that, and don't compromise on it. Everybody in, nobody out is the only American value. That's how you message it, and you reclaim patriotism, and it just feels better when people hear that. It's like, yeah, you're right. How can we leave people behind? Just like you and I,
Mhm.
served the country in uniform. I don't know about you, but we drilled on leaving no one behind. We would have little drills
We
about.
re
Yeah.
I remember I was part of the group, and I know people who died because of this. Was we rescued Bo fucking Bergdahl,
Oh
the
wow,
traitor.
yes, that's right,
Like,
that's right, that's
that
right. I
asshole.
remember that. Yes,
We
even
left
right.
no one behind.
That's it.
We
And that's what Obama said. Like, we don't leave
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what he did. It doesn't
and
matter.
we got
He'll
him,
he'll
and
face
American soldiers
accountability.
died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
getting him back.
right. That's right.
And
That's
then he
right.
didn't face accountability because Trump fucking let him off the hook.
Right. That's
And,
right.
like, that
Wow.
pisses me
I
off the
totally
most, is
forgot about that.
there's no accountability for these
Yeah.
people,
Well, as long as
because
you're one of them, that's the
Mhm.
message. Is this is a crime family. If you do something like Ghislaine Maxwell now, this
Yeah,
pedo, this horrible female pedo who is now got a puppy at
in
her
jail.
yeah,
She gets DoorDash and, like, Uber, and also she has a spa.
disgusting.
She has better services than most Americans
That's
do,
right.
who work their ass
Right.
off
She gets
every
to
day.
hang out with her puppy all day and do some gardening and
She
order
gets social health
DoorDash.
care, she
Right.
gets food, she gets all sorts of things in her cushy prison that she's in, that she doesn't ever have to work again. She's
Yeah.
always protected. She has guards. She gets whatever she wants.
Right.
That's not accountability.
No,
That's lavish
that's
lifestyle
disgusting.
masked as a prison. Like, that's
Because
turning
yeah.
a prison into a billionaire spa.
And she's a liar too. We already know that she committed perjury. That's
Yeah, and
one of
now
the
we have proof
charges,
too,
right?
like
But she
super
committed. I
proof.
mean, there was even before we knew she committed perjury. It was one of her charges, or three, I think. And Now we have the proof. We see the emails. She's a lying bitch. We know that. So, what is she doing still at Club Fed with the puppy, the poor puppy?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. And
leave that puppy
accountability
alone.
and all of the things that are going to come from this, and accountability is ramming through with a supermajority
Yes,
progressive values that are really just moderate ideas. Like
right.
that's
That's it.
that's that's it. Like I want nice basic things because we
Yes,
deserve it. And that's it. No one left behind. Everyone gets ahead.
right. We're in
And
this together.
we're in
This
this,
is
it's a community.
isn't that what America? I mean, isn't it what it means to be an American? That you would there's a basic level of a standard of
We
living.
the people.
Yeah, that
Literally,
I
we
mean,
the people.
that's
We
why so
pluribus
many
unum.
right. That's why so many fought, bled, and died for this country. Not so a few can get very rich and the rest of us can just be a compliant serfs awaiting our rewards in heaven, because we were in this together, because we they were fighting for and the other thing is, before I forget, it's they talk about the greatest generation. We're talking about people who stormed the beaches of Normandy, but they also voted for FDR's New Deal in 4 landslide elections. So the only
Yeah.
reason he didn't get elected a fifth time was because he was dead, not because he compromised with Republicans. And in fact, he never missed the opportunity to give them the credit that they deserved, which was he didn't welcome their ideas like Obama and Biden always did. He
Hmm.
he told the American people, he reminded them that they were the ones who caused the depression. They left you on the bread lines. They did nothing. In fact, the joke was he said that there's an old joke, you never speak of a rope in a house where a man's been hanged. So if I were in mixed company, meaning with Republicans, I would never, the one word I would never say in the whole English language is the word depression, because, they were the ones who were responsible for it. So, why are we always letting the Republicans off the hook for their
Yeah.
failures? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We can't keep recuperating a party that keeps failing and
that's
is
right.
regressing.
And they
Stop
have no
calling them
interest.
Republican. Stop
Hmm.
calling the Republicans conservative is what I want to ask people. They're regressives. A
Right.
conservative conserves and protects. I am a conservative and a progressive because they're not polar opposites. They're actually fairly similar to each
Yep.
other. To be a
Yep.
progressive, you need to move forward, which is part of protecting things, and
Yes.
conserving them is to progress the care of them.
That's
So,
right.
conservatives, if you're a real conservative, conserve and protect, defend the Constitution.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm gonna switch us to close out our show. I pulled up Tara
Yes. Thank you.
um, your link here.
That's my
Can you
Tara
sell
Buster.
yourself for
Yes,
Tara
please.
Buster and
Oh,
all
thank
the
you.
work you do? I highly suggest everyone go support and subscribe to
Please.
Tara. She's amazing. I get to work with her fairly often now.
Yes.
Um,
And that's been
and so
great.
this has
Thank
been
you, Nick.
so cool to meet you.
Yes.
Tara, sell yourself, my friend.
Thank you. Oh, guys, if you can, please become a subscriber to my Substack. I'm trying to grow that, and I could use some help. So, free and paid. If you have the money to support you, that's of course welcome. But free subscribers work too. So thank you. And there's a show. I do a show Friday night, 8:30 p.m. on YouTube and the Progressive Voices channel. And yes, Progressive Voices Network. Political Voices. I'm sorry. Progressive Voices is on Sunday. There's a Progressive Voices app too. I'm on that.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
close together in
I
names
know. I know.
sometimes.
So yes, Political Voices Network, and also oh yeah, there's a new show. I'm going to do Tara Buster Tuesdays on starting actually this coming Tuesday. The first guest hopefully will be JoJo from Jurors. Just confirming. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll be the following week. We'll see. But the show is going to start on Tuesday at 2 p.m. on the Political Voices Network. So please subscribe to all of that. And that would be
That's
great if you
awesome.
can help me. Yeah, help me get those Substack numbers up, because
Yeah, help Tara, help Political Voices Network, help both get a little bit stronger.
yes.
And I'm going to show mine here real quick, and then I got to hop off. My
All
wife
right, my
is
friend.
giving me a call if I can find my own QR code. Um, is come subscribe to me at Sick of This Show. It's been an incredible episode with Tara again. I thank all of you for being here. So many folks in the audience. Been so fun. I look forward to seeing you all again here soon. And we got a cat.
We got a
We got
cat.
friends. We've got over 300 people between our two chats on Substack. We've got folks on YouTube and Twitch who have joined us. Thank you all for the incredible audience. Thank you again so much to everyone, and have a great afternoon. Let's, as I keep saying, let's now stop. We're done being sick of this shit, and
Yeah,
we're starting to do this shit. So let's
that's
get out
right.
there, run for something, and ask for interviews. I'll host you. Have a great day,
All
everyone.
right.
Thanks for joining us, and
See
I'll
you
see y'all
soon.
soon. Thanks, Tara.